Hey party people, how's it going? I'm happy to be here yakking at you some more here on my YouTubes. Thank you for watching. My name is Amanda Gold. If you didn't know, I am an artist and a life coach, and I'm in recovery from drugs and alcohol, and it's been awesome, sober. And I talk a lot about life and joy and how to have more of all that good stuff in your life. And yeah, today is part of a new feature I'm doing. Is it a feature? I don't know what it is. Feature sounds so like Hollywood. The stars, the studio of the stars. Sorry, we're in my office and I'm a little dazed because I've been working my ass off today, and it's awesome, but I am wiped out and I'm going casual and I'm ready to eat a strawberry jelly roll and go outside and listen to another episode of my newest favorite podcast, which I'll tell you is, what's it called? It's so new, I don't even. Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls. Oh my God, I love it. Check it out. So yeah, I'm a little out of it, but I got you. I'm not gonna leave you hanging. And today is my new thing, feature, Thursday Thoughts. We'll see how it goes today since I'm a little scattered, but I do have some thoughts to share with you. So Thursdays I just pop in here and kind of talk at you, talk about what I've been thinking about and what I think is cool or important or meaningful, and hopefully it will help or serve you in some way. That's ultimately the goal of me being here. Update, I've been sharing this. I'm going to let you all know this more systematically or more formalized or something, but for now I'm just saying, hey, if you want to work with me one-on-one, have me coach you, if you want to get coached, you can shoot me an email and we can talk. It's free to have a discovery session, and yeah, we can just see what you want to do with your life, what your goals are, and we can see if you think I might be able to help you get there. So shoot me an email at amandagoldmakesart@gmail.com for more information. All right, so you know what's cool is today is Beltane. For thinking about the wheel of the year and the nature and how, you know, earth-based people used to celebrate and people who still do celebrate. Today is Beltane, which gosh, you know, I'm looking at this really cool book I have. It's way better at explaining it than I am. Check it out. Is that backwards? 2020 Lunar and Seasonal Diary. I'll just read you a quick paragraph of what this woman talks about. God, who made this? Stacy DeMarco. Okay, here we have the bookend to our festival of Samhain, or Samhain, Halloween on the wheel. Beltane. If Halloween has death at its heart, Beltane has life. There is always a feeling of chaos and magic about Beltane, and it should feel a little wild and super vital in its energy. Hey, great time to get coached. Great time to be starting and building a business, which I am. Yeah, Beltane translates to good fire. Beltane, and in its most ancient form, Beltane with an I, did indeed involve vast torches of fire and fires throughout the land. The original Beltane celebrations called for the May Queen and King of the community to be united in ceremony, and then after ritual they would make love upon the earth to bring fertility to the soil. The community would also show their unity on their own land later by wildly running, making music, drumming, telling stories, and feasting. All right, so, and another thing, according to lore, the veil between the worlds tonight is at its thinnest, as it is in Samhain. So it is also one of the 2 best nights of the year to perform divination. You know, celebrate. We're celebrating, and I think this is perfect to kind of bring this in, whatever your way of celebrating or not. I like to talk about this and mention it because, especially with the COVID-19 thing, and a lot of us have been in a lot of fear or stress or feeling isolated. I think it's good to remember, like, we can learn so much from nature and we can take so much power and strength from nature. And I constantly have soothed myself and found deep reassurance in watching the cycles of nature just continuing, pandemic or no. You know, it's springtime. It's the time for birth and growth and rebirth. And I've just been really intentional about this time. Like, what do I want to come out of this with? Who do I want to be on the other side of this? And I think if you haven't been thinking that way, tonight is as great a night as any to start. So just thought I'd share that with you. I like to get my witchy woo on and tap into the old, ancient, good stuff. All right, so a thought I wanted to share with you today. So to kind of wrap up with the noisy neighbors thing, I'll probably still always, I have so much content to share about that because I have struggled with dealing with noisy neighbors for so many years that I've just developed a lot of things that I think can help people. So stay tuned. But as May comes, which is tomorrow, I guess, right? I'm going to start doing different themes and stuff like that. It's not always going to be about noisy neighbors here, but I felt especially during the quarantine, the stay-at-home stuff, we might have could used a little extra help with that stuff. But anyways, so April, I was still focused on the noisy neighbors, and this last day, I had this beautiful thought. I got the seed of this idea from someone else, and I can't remember who, but it was something along the lines of, like, if you're really struggling with hating a certain thing, like in this case, hating this thing that I'm hearing, this experience of sound is grinding my gears and driving me nuts. It's not actually the sound that's driving me crazy, it's my thought about it. But at any rate, someone suggested, imagine that you couldn't hear anything ever again. And suddenly that just really puts the negative, annoying sounds into perspective, right? Like, gosh, think of all the great things. The gift of being able to hear is such a gift for me that I can take for granted, especially when I'm complaining about certain sounds. And so it's really good for me to remember, like, wow, it's a blessing that I can hear. Not everyone can, and not everyone suffers for that either. I'm not saying that, poor them or anything, but just I enjoy what I can hear, a lot of the good things that I hear. And so I just want to, it helps me to stay focused. Like, well, if it's, what if you couldn't hear anything ever again? And I'll tell you, sometimes I've been so annoyed by the neighbors that I'm like, fine, I'd rather not hear than hear this a moment longer. But if I get more rational and calm down a bit, I recognize, like, hearing is precious, and if I have to hear some shitty things once in a while, then that's okay. And so I was taking that a bit further, and I was thinking about when I first moved into this apartment. It was about 3 years ago, and the place I was in before was just such a shithole. It had turned, it seemed like a really great place because I was homeless before that. But as I grew in my recovery, and as I, got rid of the abusive boyfriend and got a better job and started to, like, wake up and come out of this shitty cocoon I had been in from years of drugs and alcohol abuse, I realized, like, oh my gosh, it's time to move on. Like, I was really grateful for the place when I got it, and then I just looked around and it was like, holy shit, like, there were roaches and bed bugs, and there were all these people fighting. It was like a 3-story unit with like a open plaza thing in the middle, and you just always hear people drinking down there. One morning I woke up at 4 a.m. to some, like, disgruntled ex-girlfriend bashing the windshield of her dude's car in, and what finally broke the straw that broke the camel's back, that's just such a, I don't resonate with that. I've never had a camel. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I warned you it might be this way. What finally got me off my ass to look for another place was that I came home one day, and there was a couple kind of 2 doors down from me that were always getting into really burly alcohol-fueled fights, and there was blood on the doorstep, and kind of a lot of blood, and I wasn't sure what had happened. I found out later they had just been in another fight, and I don't know who was bleeding, but it was just like, okay, I'm out of here. I'd been woken up at midnight before from the dude next door getting his ass kicked with a baseball bat because of a meth deal gone bad. Like, it was bad, okay? And so I tell you all that to tell you a little bit about, like, where I was coming from. And when I found this place, it felt like there were angels and rainbows and beams of light, and that sound of, like, ah, you found it. Because it was also in this time of, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I live in Denver. A lot of people are like, you'll never find a place you can afford. The rents are just skyrocketing. And I really had to push back against that belief and choose, like, well, it's going to be different for me. And I believe that. And I made a list of all the ideal qualities in an apartment, and I dared to dream, as they say. And I found the cutest fucking place that I love so much. And it was in my price range, and it was in this amazing neighborhood, and it had amenities that I didn't even dare to think I could ever afford. And, like, it's perfect. It was perfect. I'm getting ready to move again. But at the time, 3 years ago, it was a huge upgrade, and it felt so beautiful and precious and like given to me by the gods of like, here you go, kiddo, like you're doing it, you're climbing up. Like, it has a covered porch, and I would sit on it when it rains. It was just adorable. I could plant flowers. I loved it. And so when I was in my complaining mode about noisy neighbors, I imagined I imagine rewinding to 3 years ago before I had this place, and someone shows it to me. Maybe like this nice big, I'm picturing like a god, like a big brother, fatherly kind of figure, like a pal, who can give me what I want. And he shows me this apartment, and we're standing out front of it. He's got his arm around me, and he's like, check this out. And he lists all the things, washer, dryer, dishwasher. It's adorable. It has all these windows. You can plant flowers. You're going to love your neighbors. You're going to fall in love here. You're going to heal from trauma here. You're going to graduate school here. You're going to learn about yourself here. You're going to buy your first grown-up bed here. You are going to grow. You're going to make art here. You are going to celebrate here. You're going to have so many amazing things happen here, and some painful things that you're going to overcome. It's going to be the time of your life. Only thing is, sometimes you're going to hear your neighbors playing their music kind of loud. Do you still want it? I would have been like, oh my God, yeah, please, I'll take it. Who cares? I would have probably, if I'd known at the beginning, if I'd framed it that way, I would have like laughed every time I heard the neighbors and just celebrated like, yep, it's part of the deal, So I just wanted to share that with you. That always really helps me get some perspective, and you can totally do it with any sort of situation that's got you down. Well, maybe not any situation, but those situations where it's mostly good, but that one shitty thing kind of has too much of your attention. That has really helped me zoom out of my shit and be like, oh yeah, I really love this place. And if that's part of the deal, then so be it. If I wasn't ready for something a little bit bigger, I would totally sign the lease on this place again, or I definitely wouldn't have not taken it. Like I wouldn't have been like, no, I can't handle that. I would have been like all in, kicking ass with both feet as we do. So yeah, I hope that helps. And like I say, if not, I'll be back soon with another video. Maybe you'll like that one. So all right, happy to be here. I will see you all Saturday. Till then, have an amazing rest of your week. Get out and enjoy this lovely weather. Remember, whatever you're struggling with, this too will pass. Yeah, you're doing it. You're amazing. Hang in there, kick ass with both feet. I'll see you next time. Bye.